bill of material. So we say this is BOM, right? BOM, bill of material. And we are going to start with awesome speaker. Here, awesome speaker, right? And we learned that awesome speaker include 2 standard 12-inch speaker kits and then 3 speaker kits with amp booster. So here is the grandparents, and then we are going to build this one. And we are kind of making a family tree, and we say B's. So this is A, and we need B's. And to make one awesome speaker, we need 2 standard 12-inch speaker kits, which is B. So we say, yeah, we need 2 of them. So we use the subscript parentheses and saying that 2 units of that is needed. So B subscript parenthesis 2 and close the parentheses. And that means you need 2 B's to make one awesome speaker. That's what it means. And then we say 3 speaker kits with amp booster. So amp booster, we need C, and we need 3 of them. So we say 3 of them, C, parenthesis 3. And then we learned that each B consists of 2 speakers, Ds. So further down there, we have these, and we need these speakers, 2 of them. So 2 of them we need. And then we need 2 shipping boxes, each with an installation kit. That's E. So here is a package, shipping package, and that's 2 of them. Then we go to C's. Each of the 300 watt speaker kit C's has 2 speaker boosters. So 2 speaker boosters, and that's called Fs. So we need 2 Fs. And then we need 2 installation kits E. We need 2 of them. Then each speaker booster F includes 2 speaker Ds and 1 amp booster G. We realize that there's a further level down there, and 2 Ds, that's 2 Ds, and 1 G, right? The total for each awesome speaker is 4 standard 12-inch speakers and 12-inch speakers with amp booster. Given the above information, construct a structure and explode the requirement. So you have just exploded the structure, and this is your bill of materials. So then let's try to do this together. So let me ask you this question. There is an order for 100 awesome speakers, okay? Then how many Ds do you need to have? Can anybody tell me?
400?
400 is the correct answer. Very good. How did you find it?
Because there's the D2 off of the B2, and then there's also the D2 off of the F2.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did the 2 times the 4 times 100.
Very good. So you got 400. So you need 400 Ds. That's correct. Now, let me ask another question. How many E's do you need?
Also 400.
Yeah, if you look at just on your left-hand side, it's 400. But remember that there's another E here. So here's E, and here's another E. So then how many do you need?
Wouldn't it be the 4 again and then times the 100?
Nope. So anyone, what do you think? How many E's do you need?
I don't know if it's right, but I got 1,000.
1,000 is the right answer. Very good. Amanda, can you please explain to us?
I thought it was like there's 2 B's, so you do 2 times 2 to get the first 400 on the left side.
Right.
Then on the right side, there's 2 E's to 3 C's. So 2
That's
times
right.
3 times 100 for that side.
Very good. So left-hand side, 2 times 3 times, I'm sorry, 2 times 2 times 100 plus right-hand side, 2 times 3 times 100. And that's going to be 1,000. Very good, Amanda. So now, similar question. How many D's do you need? To make 100 awesome speakers? Actually, 1,600 is the correct answer. Who was it? Who was it? Can you please explain it to us?
So I did it by on the left side. So you needed 2 B's, and you also, for each B, you needed 2 D's. So I did 2 times 2 times 100.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the right, you need 2 D's for every F.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did 2 times 2, but then you also needed to account for the 3 C's. So I did 2 times 2 times 3 times 100, and then added both sides together.
Very good. So that's 1,600. Very good. So that was pretty straightforward. You don't have to be intimidated. Now, let me say, oops.
What's the difference between the first question and the third question? Because I thought they were the same, like how many D's?
Yeah, so if you look at D, here's a D. So D is right here. Oh, spotlight. How about that? Do you see here D? And I'm not so sure. I'm having this hard time here. Okay, so if you look at D, you see that here, D, one more level, right? So D, every F, here on your left, it's just straightforward. 2 times 2 times 100 is going to give you 400. However, on your right hand, you have one more level, right? Every F has 2 Ds, every C has 2 Fs, and every awesome speaker has 3 Cs. So you have one more level. So you have to multiply this subscript 2 times 2 times 3, and then times the number of awesome speakers. So in this sense, it's different, right? You have one more level there.
So the first D was for the D's under the B's, and then the third question was for the D's under the C's.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I confused you. Yeah.
you.
So let me erase this thing. How about that? Okay. Now you have 50 Fs in stock. How many Ds you need? Okay, so you originally needed 1600 Ds. However, you looked at your warehouse, right? Originally you needed 1600 Ds, and now you looked at your warehouse. You found that, oh yeah, we have 50 Fs in stock. Then how many Ds do we need? We don't need to carry a lot of Ds since we have Fs, 50 Fs in stock. So in this case, how many Ds do we need to have?
So would that make F1 instead of 2? Like, would you do it in half because there was 100 A, but when there was 100 A, there was 2 Fs. So would you cut the F in half and just do 1?
That's a good question. So originally, how many Fs did you need to make 100 Fs? At the time you needed?
2.
The 2? Oh no, but wouldn't it? Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. Just so I'm understanding this, you would do the 3 times the 2 in the F to get times the 100 to get 500 Fs.
You
And
mean
then
600 Fs, right?
600 Fs. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And then you would cut the 600 Fs in half and do 300.
You're not gonna cut it in half because you need 600 Fs before. Now you found that 50 is in stock, right? So what you need is not 600 Fs, but 550 Fs.
Oh, okay.
Is it 1500?
The answer is 1500. Very good. Amanda, can you please explain?
Since we already have 50 Fs, that 50 has Ds already. So it has 100 Ds because it's 50 times 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you subtract that from the 1600 that we would need for the 100.
Very good. So how we get is, so this is the easiest way to get, that is equals, we already, originally we needed 1600. However, we found that 50 Fs are in stock, and we know that one F carries two Ds, so multiply by 2 only, then it is going to give you 1500. I found that this is the easiest way to calculate this. Let me give you one more question. Now, let me make it a little bit more realistic, okay? So I found that in my warehouse, I have 10 Bs in stock, 10 Cs in stock, and 100 Fs in stock, and 50 Es in stock. How many Fs? I'm sorry. How many Ds do I need?
I got 1340.
Yes, I think that's correct answer. Amanda, you're right. Bingo, that's great. So tell us how you solved it.
It's kind of like the last one, but you have to do 3 separate calculations, I think. You look at the 10 Bs, and that's on the left side, and then it's equal to 2 Ds.
Mhm.
So then it's 20 because it's the 10 times the subscript 2. And then for the 10 Cs, it's equal on the right side to 20 Fs, which then is equal to 40 Ds. And then I did the 100 Fs, which is again on the right side, which is equal to 200 Ds.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add 20, the 40, and the 200.
Mm-hmm.
I think because the E's are like irrelevant since they don't equal any D's.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get 260. I did 1600 minus 260.
Mm. Great job, Amanda. You got it right, and I'm very happy that you got it right. So what she said was, she said, let me change the color now, green. So 10 B's, right? 10 B's is right here. B is related to here. So if you have everything now, we know that if we have nothing in stock, we need 1600 Ds minus we have 10 B's in stock. We know that one B has two Ds, right? So 10 times 2 minus now C's, and we know that C's, one C has 2 times 2. So 4 D's are included in one C. So we can say 10 times 2 times 2 has to be subtracted. And then 100 Fs. So let me change the color here. So 100 Fs. So we know F and D's are related right here. So minus 100 times 2Ds, right? So that you have to calculate, and that is, what was that? That was 1340. 1340 Ds. So the answer is 1340 Ds. And
Excuse me, I got 1350.
1350. If we follow my calculation, it should be 1340, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And understand that ease has nothing to do with these, right? Ease has nothing to do with these. So that's why you don't have to worry about that. It's 50 E's are irrelevant to these. So you don't have to calculate anything about that. So that's how you calculate that. Now, this is only how many products you are making. One speaker and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 components you have, and it can get really complex. That's why we need to understand it correctly and use it well. Otherwise, we can be very well confused, and your production schedule will be messed up. So that's why we have to use bill of materials and MRP.
Why is it 10 times 2 times 2 for the C?
Yeah, so here we have C's, right? We know that there are 10 C's, and we know that one C has 2 F's, and one F has 2 D's, right? So 10 times, we know that 10 C's includes 2 D's, right? So 40 D's are included in 10 C's.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense.
Okay. Good. So if you have done that, now we can move on to time-based product structure. Time-based product structure. So time-based product structure. And you have to first understand the lead time. Okay. So component and lead time. You have to do research about how long does it take for you to make all those things. So we have a few things. So you have to work with your suppliers and determine that, yeah, we are going to deliver everything in a few weeks. So in the textbook, they say lead time for A is 1 week, for B, 2 weeks, for C, 1 week, for D, 1 week, for E, 2 weeks, and F, 3 weeks, and for G, 2 weeks, right? So that's what it says. So you have to look at your bill of materials again, and you're putting it in the side way and learning to do everything. So we learned that we start from, say, product A. So you are going to make your bill of material and rotate it to 90 degree, right, to the right, and that will make it sideways. And I'm going to start with product A here, and I know that it takes 1 week, so I'm going to draw a line like this and say, yeah, this is 1 week, and then draw this line saying that, yeah, this is 1 week, I'm going to say, right? And then in product structure, I learned that A branches out into 2 products. They are B and C. So B, I need subscript of 2. We know that, B2. And then C is 3, subscript 3. And we learned that B takes 2 weeks, right? Here in this time-based product structure, the lead time says it takes 2 weeks. So I'm going to draw 2 lines, 1 week, and then another week, 2 weeks. So that's what I learned. And then C, it takes 1 week. So I need to draw 1 line, and that's 1 week. So that's good. And then I learned that B branches out into D and E. So I'm going to draw this line again and say D. And I learned that 2 Ds are required for 1 B. So subscript 2 is there. And then we also need the package, that's E, and 2 of them are needed per 1 B. And the lead time says you need only 1 week. Oops, where did it go? Did I? Oh. Okay, 1 week. Okay, 1 week. And then E, it takes 2 weeks. So like make 1 more week. And it's going to be 2 weeks. And then C side, on the other side, C also branches out into E and F. So we are going to have E and F. So let's start with E. And we learned that 2 of them are needed. So subscript 2 and E, it takes 2 weeks. So you have to draw 2 lines here. And then we learned we have F, and 2 units of that are needed here. And F, it takes 3 weeks. If you look at the lead time, you see it's 3 weeks. So I'm going to draw 3 lines, 1, 2, and 3. And we are not done yet. We learned that F has now D and G. So we have to draw another line over here and say this is D, 2 units of that, and G, how many units? 1 amp master booster. So G is 1, and D, it takes 1 week, 1 week here, and G, it takes 2 weeks, 1 and 2, right? And then now you are able to draw this horizontal line. So it says week, right? And that's components. Component. And now if you start from, say, week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So say if you start from the week of November, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'll take a few weeks for you to finish that. So here's the question. The first question is, how many weeks does it take to make awesome speaker? How many weeks? How many weeks does it take for you to make awesome speaker according to this this lead time and product structure? Oh, this is not a difficult question.
8.
Okay, the answer is, if you count, it's 7 weeks. It takes 7 weeks. So say if you start from 0, okay, say week 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It takes 7 weeks, right? So if you start from 0, or if you start from 2, then it will end at 9. So it takes 7 weeks for you to finish this product. So you are now able to see that how it looks like, and it's going to be a lot closer than you think. And this is very important for you to have this product structure, because this is going to serve you to move on to the next process, right? Because you will need this to go to the next phase. Did you guys take the screenshot? Are you ready?
I got it.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to go to the next thing to do. So that is gross requirement planning. So gross material requirement planning. And this one is going to include everything that we have done so far. So we're going to go there. And we're going to say, here's product name. And then we have product A, product B, we have product C, and D, E, F, and G. And we are going to also draw here. I didn't mean it. Yeah, there's a lead time. Lead time. So we are going to put lead time in there. And we learned last time that it takes 1 week for A, for B, 2 weeks for B, 1 week for C, 1 week for D, and 2 weeks for E, and 3 weeks for F, and 2 weeks for G. That we learned last time. And we are going to have now another thing. And we're going to draw this table. And here are weeks that we are going to work with. And here is week 1, week 1, 2. So week 1 and week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, and week 8, and so on. And week 9, just for your information, I'm gonna put there. And then we're gonna draw these lines too. This. So we learned that at week 8, if you look at the product structure that I did, we learned that at week 8, we have required date and order date. So we're going to say here required date at week 8, say we need 100 of A's. And we learned that it takes 1 week, right? 1 week to order that. So here's a required date. So for your reference, this required date and this is order date. So upper half is required date and bottom half is order date. That's what I mean by that. So 100 is required at week 8. However, it takes 1 week for us to make it. So it has to be ordered 1 week in advance. So we say here, let me change the color. Order date will be week 7. So you have to order it at week 7 so that you can have it made by week 8, 100 of them. So that's what it means by A. And then we have a B. B is at week 7, and we need, how many of them do we need? So we know that it's going to be 200. So let me change the color of that here. So 2 times 100 is going to be 200, right? We know that 1A requires 2 B's, right? So if I would do that, then 200 of them are required at week 7, and we know that it takes 2 weeks to deliver that. So 2 weeks in advance, we have to order it. So the order date for that is going to be at week 5, and we need to order that 200 right there. And week, so C, at the same time, if you look at the time phase product structure, C, you have to order it at week 7, and we know that it's going to be 3 units of that we need. So we are ordering. So C, so now 3 times 100 is going to be 300 here. And then it takes 1 week. Therefore, we are going to have it ordered at week 6, 300 of them. And now let's take a look at D. On your left side, we have D, and it requires 2 units of that. And we know that it has to start at week 5. So we go to week 5. And we know that 2 units times 200 of them with order. So 400 has to be ordered, required at the time, and it has to be ordered at week 4 because it takes 1 week. So we go here, 400 of them are required right there. And what about the other things? So we have E. We know that 2 units of them are required at week 5. So let's go there. So 2 times 200 is 400. And it takes 2 weeks. Therefore, the required date the order date has to be here, 400. And let's go to the other branch, E and F. E at week 6, and we need two units of that. So go to week 6, E. We have here, so here is a little bit confusing part for you, but it's happening because we have the other branches. So 2 times, and then C, 300 of them are required. So 300, so that's 600. So we need 600 E's at week 6, and it takes 2 weeks for that. So 1, 2 weeks go behind. And at that time you have to order it. So 600 has to come over here. And then F, we need 2 units of that. What did I do? Okay, F 2 units of that, and we need that at week 6. So we go here, the same here, 2 units 곱하기 300, and that's 600. And then it takes 3 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, go there, and we need 600 over there. And what about G and D? Now we are on G and D. G at week 3, and G, 1 unit of that is required. So G, 1 unit. So F, we need 300 of them at week 600. So 1 times 600 is going to be 600 at the time. And then it takes 2 weeks. Therefore here, 600 has to be ordered. And lastly, D, it takes 1 week at week 3. So go to week 3 and 2 times. So 2 times F is 600. 1200 is required. It takes 1 week. So 1200 has to be ordered here. So that's for the gross requirement planning. Let me do this. So gross material requirement planning to make 100 A's at week 8. Okay, so this is the production schedule that you have and how to order things in advance. So for example, I can ask, how many D's do you need to order at week 2? Then the answer has to be 1200. Or how many G's are you required to have at week 3? Then 600 is required. How many B's do you need at week 7? Then 200. How many of them do you need to have it ordered? Then week 5, 200 of them, right? That's how you answer the question. But we can also go, now we can say, in real situation, at week 9, now we have 200 of A's, then what is going to happen? And you have to fill everything out. And then at week 10, you have 300 A's you need to make, and so forth. Then your table is going to be a lot more complicated, and you need to carefully calculate, otherwise the production schedule will be